Hi everyone, welcome. In this video, I'm going to talk about some of the world's fastest LLMs. So you might all have used ChatGPT and you might be thinking that responses from ChatGPT are already very fast. But in this lecture, I'm going to show some of the world's fastest chatbots which can give speeds 20 to 30 times or even 50 times faster than ChatGPT. And in this video, I'm going to show those chatbots and we will also use those APIs to build some applications as well. So let's get started with it. So just to give you a rough overview of what is it that you can expect in this video, as mentioned, whenever you're using ChatGPT, the speed of the model, let's say GPT-4o or something, is around 100 tokens or 150 tokens per second, right? What if you could have speed which is 20 to 30 times more than that? So that is when we have these players in the scene. So we have three new providers, LLM providers, which are giving LLM APIs at a blazing fast speed. The first one is Cerebras. You can actually use their APIs to get a speed of around 4,000 tokens per second. And you can also use a provider called Groq, which also gives similar speed to that. And we also have a provider called Sambanova, which is also giving some great speeds, which are at least 5 to 6 times as ChatGPT. So in this video, first we will look at the chat version. So if you want to use any of these, how can you use it within chat? And in the second part of this video, we will also look at some APIs. So if you want to build some applications using these ultra fast APIs, how can you do that? So let's get started with the chat version. As you can see, I'm currently on Cerebras website. So if you want to navigate to the same website, you can just go to this link, cloud.cerebras.ai, and you can do the GitHub login and you will find this page. So you can select which model you want to use. Let's say I want to see what is the speed I'm getting with an 8B model. So the speeds I have mentioned in the document are for a 70B model, but let's see what's the speed that we can get with 8B model. So I can just type a simple query. So this is the simple query. How are you doing? So let me run this. So it's giving a token speed of around 20 to 100 tokens per second, which is very impressive. So let us see what is the speed that we can get with a 70B model. Let me ask the same question. How are you? Run this. So you can see the speed is slightly higher for 70B. So maybe they are optimizing a lot more for a 70B model. Let me try another query. So tell me long story. So let me run this. And you can see you have the entire story within a couple of seconds. So let us try the same query with ChatGPT and let us see how much time it takes. So for Cerebras to give this output, it only took maybe a couple of seconds. I think we can find some metrics. So I'm asking the same question, tell me a long story. And you can see it will at least take few seconds to type it out one by one. So you can clearly see each word being typed out and the time is visible, but it's barely visible when you are using Cerebras or something else. So I'll just stop it at here. And see how you can use the same thing using Groq. So cloud.groq, or maybe the link is console.groq. So you go to this link and you choose the model. So if you want the model with highest speed, you need to choose the 70B spec deck, which is speculative decoding version. So just click on this and let me ask the same question. How are you? So let me submit this. And the tokens per second is around, you can see that it's giving around 2000 tokens per second, which is very impressive. So let me ask it a longer question. So I'm asking it to tell me a long story. Right? It is also giving around 1500 tokens. So this is the speeds that we are getting right now. So depending on when you test, I guess the speeds are comparatively very higher or lower. So, but in my testing, I have found the speed to be around 3000 tokens or 3500 tokens also, as I've shown in the video. So this is how you can quickly try out the chatbots and see their speeds. But what if you want to use these models using APIs? So that is what we will cover right now. So for that, I have created a GitHub repository. So let me go to that repository and show you the code for that. So this is the repository that I've created that illustrates how you can use all the APIs from Groq, Cerebras, and Sambanova in a single notebook. And I also do a speed comparison and test. So if you can just click on this notebook, and you can open in Collab and you can run it along with me. So this is the code that we'll be using today. So this is the first step where you just need to install, load all the env variables. So the env variables that you will need is Groq API key, Sambanova API key, and Cerebras API key. So whenever you go to their platforms, you will be able to find it very easily. So you can just click on API keys and you can generate your own API keys as you want. So here, as you can see, I've already generated a lot of API keys, and you can generate some API keys for yourself as well. Once you have that ready, so this is the code snippet to use each of these models. So one thing that I would want to highlight is, as you can see, I'm not using any separate packages for Groq, Sambanova, and Cerebras. I'm only using OpenAI API key. Sorry, I'm only using OpenAI package, because this is the only package that you will require to run all these LLMs, because all of them are OpenAI compatible. So what does that mean? You just need to change the API key and base URL and you can use the same package. So that is the reason I'm just using OpenAI package. So to use Groq API key, you will need a Groq API key, and this is the base URL that you will be needing. And just choose the model that you want to run. So let's say if you want this fastest model, just change it to spec deck version. And I'm asking this question, tell me a long story, and we can just stream the output. So let me run this. As you can see, it's pretty fast. A few seconds, but it actually gave a very, very long output, as you can see. Right. Similarly, if you want to run Cerebras model, so this is how you will run it. So this is the base URL and this is the API key and this is the model name that you will use it. And similarly, this is the code for Sambanova. But what we are interested is in the speed comparison. So I have written a script to compare the speed and latency of all these three models. So in this function that I've created, which is a run LLM function, you will just have to run this function to see the different speeds. So let me run this function and let us compare the speeds for different inputs and outputs. So we will have to wait for a couple of seconds to see the output. So let's come back to it in a couple of seconds. So this is the set of outputs that we can see. Currently in this particular test, we can see the Groq having a speed of 1800 tokens, Cerebras having 1300 and Sambanova which is 400. So which is actually very good. But what I've noticed is depending on the prompt that you have, the speed also changes a lot. So in this, I have tried a prompt to tell me a long story. So let's say if your prompt is a very simple prompt, let's say if you just say hi, and you can also see how the model speeds actually change with this. So let me run this. So you can see in this case, the speeds are around 6,500 tokens. Whereas Groq is giving close to 4,000 tokens, where Sambanova is giving only 250. So the way the LLM speeds are given is also dependent on how long your output is. So this is something that is interesting to see. I think this is the first time that I've actually seen a speed of more than 4,000, to be honest. So this is how fast the LLMs are that we are using. So go to this code, run this, and try to create some applications with it. Hope you enjoyed and had fun learning this. Don't forget to subscribe, Build Fast with AI.